All right, all right, all right. Welcome to the afternoon Blitz. It's your boy Jay McLovin. As always, we got the forever awesome Chris Gonzalez on the show. How you doing, my brother?
Not too bad. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I didn't get to watch my Astros yesterday because it got postponed due to rain, so I had to watch, the other teams. But I will get to watch them today. They have a 4:00 game today. We play the Twins. Hopefully, we'll get to 500, and I can stop seeing this 3-4 losing record gone. So I don't like seeing the Astros 3-4, but it is what it is, man. But how are you doing today, man?
I'm not doing too bad. Could always be worse. The Reds didn't play the last 2 days because of weather, so they play today. I think at 3, so get to watch them later. Been watching this Masters. It's been pretty good. Real quick before we get started, do have a little news. Got everybody's been watching. I've been promoting a wrestling show this Saturday. There is still a wrestling show, but unfortunately, found out last night that Kurt Angle has had a family matter, and had to head back home today. So he's not going to be at the wrestling tomorrow. But DCCW never fails people, so they found a replacement to add back to the show for replace Kurt, and it is no other than one half of one of the best tag teams in WWE history, the Dudley Boys. Devon Dudley, WWE Hall of Famer Devon Dudley, is going to be there tomorrow night instead of Kurt Angle. And then Kurt Angle also put out a video. I've shared it on my social media pages, apologizing to the Jay County wrestlers and apologize to the fans, and said that he's already committed and guaranteed that he will be at DCCW in 5-year or Invasion 5-year anniversary show next year. So something happened, a family matter came up. Because he was actually at a convention here in Indiana today. As soon as he gets done today, he had to head back home for a family matter. So he won't be there tomorrow night, but he will be on next year's show. But instead of him, you will have Devon Dudley, still will have Rikishi, and still will have Buff Bagwell.
Frankie, be nice. Be nice. You got a family emergency. What are you going to do? Frankie was saying, Kurt, you suck. Come on. Be nice. Yeah, hey, Nate, don't get used to that 4-2. You know what? You know, this is how it always plays out, Gonzo. We go 3-4. Rangers actually do a little something. All the people come out of the wood. It's okay. You know what? I'll be collecting my receipts in about 1.5 weeks from now. It's okay. And I want all that energy when it comes around.
Yeah, I was disappointed because I mean, I'm a big Kurt fan, but I mean, things happen. But what I was happy about is I know some promotions wouldn't even if the guy cancels on them, they don't even announce it. They just would let all the fans show up expecting Kurt to be there, and then told them when they got there. I like that DCCW announced it. I also like that Kurt made a video and put out telling that people what was going on. And then it's nice that they were able to to find somebody else to be able to be there. So, and Devon Dudley, Jay, I know you're not the biggest wrestling fan, but you probably heard of the Dudley Boys, I would say.
Yes, I have. Yeah. Like I said, there's not a – hey, look, if it's old school stuff, I could probably talk to you about it. If it's new school stuff, or let's just put it this way, if it's anything after 1988, 89, I'm a little fuzzy. I'm not going to lie. But if it's before 88, 89, yeah, hey, I'm right there with you. So I'm dating myself right now, but that is what it is. Nate, hey, look, man, I would just want to – hey, we probably will. You're correct. But I will say this. The Texas Rangers are looking really, really good right now, man. And I know you're a Rangers fan, even though Frankie's talking about Colorado, and you are a Colorado fan. But don't worry, Nate, you just remind Frankie that his football team is in Boston, his baseball team is in New York, and his basketball team is in L.A. So – let him. Don't just take that from Frankie, Nate. You stick on your ground, okay? But yeah, Rangers are doing great. But back to Kurt Angle, man. Gonzo, man, he has to do what he has to do, man. Family is always the first thing. But deep down inside, you're like, that just because to me that would be crushing. That would be crushing. But you will get him next year, though, so that is a good thing. And correct me if I'm wrong, you still got Rikishi, right?
Yeah, still have Rikishi, Buff Bagwell, and then now Devon Dudley. So you're still getting
that's still a pretty good lineup.
Still a good lineup.
Wow. Speaking of, I know we were talking about baseball a minute ago. Dustin May. I don't know if you saw it, Gonzo, but the other night he threw a 100-mile-an-hour sinker, and it was filthy, Gonzo. I mean, it was filthy to the point where some people are saying, and again, this is extremely early, but they are saying that he could be in the running for Cy Young. I'll tell you, with the 100-mile-an-hour sinker, yeah, maybe. What do you think? I've never seen a guy in my life throw a 100-mile-an-hour sinker. I think that's the first time I've ever seen that, honestly.
Yeah, you don't see a whole lot of that. I haven't seen it. I think it's a little too early to talk about Cy Young, but if you can, especially if you can throw his other pitchers for strikes, that's going to make that sinker even more devastating because, I mean, it looks when them sinkers come in, if people don't understand baseball, it looks like a fastball.
It does.
And then the bottom just drops out of it. And if a guy's throwing it that hard, the batter has to react so quick that the batter swings and the ball's gone. And the batter it's hard for him to lay off the pitch because the plane of the pitch looks like it's going to be a strike until it gets a foot or two from home plate and the bottom drops out of it.
Typically when it's in a 100-mile-an-hour zone, that's typically a fastball, whether it be a two-seam or a four-seam, whatever. So you can watch the pitcher's hand, and wherever he releases it, generally speaking, that's where you're going to throw the bat. But like you said, when it dips like that at the very end, it's not where you thought it was going to be. And I'm sorry, once you make up your mind when that ball's out of the hand, that's it. Timing is done. When it's 100 miles an hour, timing is done.
Yeah, that's just as effective as the guys that throw 105 and then have like an 89, 90 mile per hour slider. You know what I mean? It's almost the same effect. It's almost the same effect because a lot of times them sliders look like they're on the same plane as a fastball, and then they just break out of the zone.
Unless you don't have your command. Because I've seen a few sliders that the Astros have thrown a couple of days ago, and one of them wanted to be in a home run because it didn't break.
Well, it's the same thing with the sinker. If you don't have your command on it, you could be throwing 100 mile per hour sink, thinking it's going to sink, and it could be right down the middle, and it could go 460 feet out, 60 feet out of the park.
I always love that movie Major League. When sometimes I go to my nose, put a little snot on it, or go down to my waist and get a little jalapeno.
Whatever it takes.
I still love watching that show. That scene always cracks me up, man. Man, what a time, though. What a time. And, speaking of, I'm all over the place. I know I'm all over the place. But, I was going back to golf real quick. I saw just a minute ago, Kopka, he's negative, or he's 12 under right now.
Oh, dude.
Everybody else is 7 under. Well, bro, this dude's taking off.
Well, here's the thing, Jay. I think there's only out of the people that are 7 under, they just started playing, all but like one. Koepka finished 7 under yesterday, and then he played this morning. He just finished, and now he's 12 under. But he's looking good. And honestly, he could have, if it went for a couple little mistakes, he didn't make many mistakes, but the couple of mistakes he made, he probably could have been about 13, 14 under. He could have probably very easily shot another 7 under today. I didn't get to watch it all because, like I was telling you, I haven't felt real good. But what I've been watching, but John Rahm, who was also the co-leader at 7, he's only on his second hole today. So, like I said, it's going to be interesting.
I was going to ask you
if some of these other guys can catch up. can keep up with them. But yeah, but Koepka got off to a real good start today. And like I said, he just finished, I think, about 45 minutes ago or so. He finished his round. Now you have the second wave of
guys. I wanted to
guys.
ask you. So if Koepka finished, and by the way, he was 5 under today. He was 7 under yesterday, 5 under today. Let me ask you this: Bennett's at 7 under, Hovland's 7 under, Rahm's 7 under. Yeah,
Hovland and Rahm. Rahm's on the hole number 1. Hovland's on hole number 2. They just started their first round.
Right, and Bennett's at, I think he's on hole number 13.
He's on 14. He's played 13 holes.
Is he on 14? Okay. So I don't think maybe Bennett could he might get to 11 under if he can birdie all of that. I don't think he's going to catch Koepka today. I think he'll have to wait till another day. But Hovland and Rahm, those are probably your best and possibly even Day, because Day is at 6 under and he's only on Day's at 17, so he won't. But definitely Hovland and Rahm. Let's just focus on those two. Which one of those two do you think is most likely, or do you think both of them are likely to either catch or surpass Koepka?
I think both of them have a good chance too if they play like they did yesterday. Because I watched Hovland is in the same group as Tiger Woods, so I watched almost all his round yesterday. And Rahm is actually one of the guys I picked to win it. And Rahm was the first player to shoot 7 under in a Masters round after double bogey in the first hole.
Wow. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, wow.
He got off to a terrible start, and then he started looking like John Rahm again. So, and both of them got off to decent starts today. The weather has changed. It was pretty sunny this morning when Koepka was playing. Now it's getting cloudy. Weather's changing a little bit, so it's going to be interesting to see how the weather change affects the afternoon group. And it's supposed to be cold, a lot colder there this weekend. I was seeing like yesterday was like 80, and I think this weekend's supposed to be in maybe the 50s and 60s, which is in Georgia. And Georgia's is a little bit. That's a little chilly for you guys.
Well, yeah. When you factor in the humidity, and right now the humidity is just incredible right now in Georgia. I will tell you. I wake up every day, and you can just see all the cars are covered in water, and it didn't even rain. It's just a humidity, right? So like you said, they're battling wind, they're battling humidity. I mean, there's a lot of things that are going on out there. And right now, when I'm pulling up Augusta, currently it's 81 degrees, and there is a drizzle right now out there. So
yeah, I'm watching the Masters now. I'm about ready to change it to where I can just watch the Tiger Woods group. I like what
you can do that
on ESPN Plus. You can.
You rich son of a bitch. I'm on the cheap end.
I'm rich. I'm rich.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Just so we understand today, though.
You know how I roll with that. I've been trying to get you to switch to it.
Man, I'm telling you. I promise you, it's in the works. I promise. Just so we're tracking. So right now it's a drizzle, and right now it's 144. They're looking at 30% chance of rain at 2. 40% chance of rain at 4, and by 5 o'clock it's 50%. So I wonder if they're even going to be able to finish this round of golf, or if we're going to see a delay.
Yeah, I think they were expecting that there might be a delay from what I was hearing them talk earlier. But a lot of it just depends on how hard it starts raining, because they'll play in the rain if it if it don't get too bad, and as long as it's not.
Hey, if it ain't lightning, let's keep going, baby. That's why we got umbrellas, and that's why we got rain jackets. Let's go. Rob Scott, what's up, baby?
What's happening, my guys? What's going on?
Man, hey, not too much, man. We're a little bit all over the map today in terms of sports. Truthfully speaking, there's really not a whole lot going on in sports because of the weather, especially with baseball and golf, which is, and football. I mean, with all the rain and everything that's going on right now in the South and around that East Coast. So, yeah,
it's a lot
it's
going
been
on
kind
in
of,
sports right now, Jay.
huh?
You just don't. It's a lot going on in sports right now. You just don't talk hoops.
Hey, watch this. I haven't got there yet.
You just said no. I'm just rebutting what you say. There's not a lot going on in sports. It's a whole lot going on. Baby.
I mean, look, don't get it twisted. I mean, no, I'm talking like what I meant by that. Okay, Rob, you're right. Let me back up for a minute. I guess what I'm just saying, like right now. I mean, we you're right. There is, right, because we are in the last 2 games of the season right now, right? So tonight is
yes.
Dang, Rob, I'm glad you said hoops, man. You know what?
Yes.
My brain's not working all the way because I've been up since 7, so my brain's a little slow. But tonight's a big night, big night. Because tonight,
for the Lakers,
bro, it ain't just the Lakers. It's your boys too. Because your boys, your boys are playing. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong on this, but I think you're playing Sacramento tonight
on the road.
Yes. So you got a game against Sacramento. Lakers got a game against Phoenix. Oh, my Atlanta, that's going to be a rough game.
No, not necessarily. According to what Monty Williams said, he said that he might not play. The starters might only play the first half.
Oh, wow. So I don't like that.
Well,
I understand why they're doing it, but I don't like it, Rob. They had
an unexpected tough game against the Nuggets yesterday. So Phoenix is on a back-to-back. And they had a tougher game yesterday against the Nuggets. And not to mention, I don't think the Nuggets started their starters. And I know Jokic wasn't playing. So
I don't think Nuggets played a lot of their guys.
Yeah, so like the BC team was playing, and they kind of took Phoenix to the limit. Now, Phoenix won, of course, but that game was a lot closer than a lot of people would have expected. I believe KD played like 38 minutes. Booker played like 34 minutes. Chris Paul was in the upper 30 minutes. So a lot of their starters played unexpected minutes yesterday. So now they're looking at it as, well, we're kind of locked in our spot. We, for continuity's sake, let's play our guys against a tougher team like the Lakers, but we might not play them the whole game. But you never know. Competition might, Chris Paul and KD can overcall that and say, "Nah, we hoop in second half." Depending on
before we get too far down the basketball realm, and we're going to come back to that. I just want to finish up real quick on the golf side of it.
I don't mean to interrupt. Go ahead and talk golf.
No, you're good. No, you're good because I want to know because everything you're talking about because I'm like that. Hey, Rob, when you throw squirrel out there, I look for the nut. Okay, so trust me, man. Hey, I'll go left real quick. So Gonzo, that was a squirrel and a walnut. Okay, let's stay on track. What I'm saying though, I saw the look. We're talking about walnuts, okay? But real quick. And Rob, I don't know. Do you watch golf? I don't know if you.
I haven't been able to keep up with the tournament because of the time that it's coming on.
Okay.
So I'm at work.
Okay. Well, just real quick. So I got a couple of questions. Number one, Kopka, and correct me if I'm wrong. Is Kopka? He's a live golfer, correct?
Yes.
So let me ask you this. How is this going to affect live and PGA? Because you got to imagine this competition, right? PGA versus live. I mean, the Masters is the quote unquote, the creme de la creme of those two leagues going at each other. And we all know that live is really taking a lot of golfers away from PGA. PGA is trying to, keep themselves formidable. What do you see in terms of live versus PGA? And what would be the effects of live winning the Masters over PGA? Like, would there be any adverse effects in terms of the credibility now of the PGA now that live is on the scene?
I don't think so, just because PGA's been around for so long. I think the only thing it really affects is it's probably going to piss some of the PGA players off because the PGA was fighting to try to keep the live golfers from being able to play in the Masters.
Right.
So, I think that would probably piss PGA off more because, hey, we didn't want you here anyway, and now you win it. But other than that, I don't think it affects a whole lot because I think a lot of the golfers that left PGA or that are going to leave PGA have already left. Now it could affect maybe some of the guys, younger guys coming up in the golf. Maybe they look at, okay, well, I can still go over here to live, make more, possibly make more money, and I'll still be able to play in these tournaments.
Right.
So I think it could help live in that regard. But I think more of the thing is just basically throwing it in the face of the PGA if Liv was able to win after the big stink that they've made of trying to keep the Liv players out of these major tournaments.
Rob, let me ask you this. And that's a good point, Chris. That's a good point. Rob, let me ask you this, man. For maybe people who, PGA has had the monopoly forever. We know that. Golf has always been a PGA thing. It's one entity that controls it all. But now that Liv is on the scene, now PGA doesn't have the monopoly. Now there's another organization out there. Is this now going to, elevate the game of golf in terms of number one, the competition level, and number two, maybe the people who hadn't necessarily paid attention to golf, but now that there's competition out there, going at each other, will this help? Is this good for the game of golf?
I think it is. I look at it like, take wrestling, for instance. We look at the Attitude Era, and the Attitude Era doesn't happen if the NWO doesn't happen in WCW. You know what I mean? Like, to me personally, you look at a company like Liv with PGA, and as you said, Jay, that's a great point. PGA owned the monopoly. They played the monopoly board on their own board because they owned everything in golf. And now you have a company like Liv who's introducing new faces, bringing back old faces, and making golf popular on an international level.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think now that only helps the game of golf because now you force PGA hand to make the game more exciting, So
yeah,
I think it's always good for any company when there's a little bit of competition because now you're not just stuck in your ways. You have to evolve. And that only makes the game better.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, and that's what I was thinking too, man. I was like, I always say competition breeds excitement, right? And I think that's where we're going with that.
And
no, go ahead, Chris.
And the PGA, I don't understand why the PGA golfers are so mad because since Liv has came, it has forced PGA to pay more higher purses. It has increased the money that the PGA golfers can make.
Yeah, because you see that money Liv making.
Yeah, so PGA had to increase their payouts at tournaments because of Liv. So it's helped the PGA players as well. And just real quick, Jay, in the Masters, you have in second place you have a amateur that just moved up to second place in the Masters in Bennett. He's at -8, and he's an amateur. He is actually a fifth-year senior, I think, at Texas A&M, if I remember right. And his coach, his college coach, is his caddy for the Masters. He shot 7 under yesterday. He shot like 5 or 6 under yesterday, and he's at 8 under right now, and he's in second place of the Masters.
So now
that's incredible. That is incredible.
And it's always good to introduce new faces. I mean, sometimes, hey, about the Phil Nichols, about the Tiger Woods, the various golf stars that's around. So now you're introducing new faces, and new faces bring new stories. So, that was a great point, Chris. That was a great point.
Yeah, and again, question. So Tiger right now shot a 74. He was 2 over. Right now the lead is
I couldn't think his name. My man. It came to me. It came right to me.
Hey, but listen, I'll be honest with you. And Gonzo, you tell me if I'm off kilter. Unless Tiger just taps into, the young Tiger first year competition, whatever. He finished yesterday at 2 over. Kopka's at 12 under. That's 14 shots. Or let's put it this way: it would be 14 birdies or eagles. It's going to take a lot for him to catch up. I don't. I really don't. And unless I'm wrong, I don't really expect him to win the Masters this year because Kopka is just, and everybody's just coming out so heavy. But do you think at the very least, do you think he makes the cut?
Ooh. You have to give me a second because I'd have to see what the cut line is currently sitting at. I'm not sure what the cut line is at because the cut line depends. It goes like I think it's like 46 golfers or 50 golfers. So it depends on like what all the scores are.
Right.
If he don't play better than he did yesterday, if he shoots another 2 over today, I think he's going to have trouble making the cut line.
Yeah.
I think he needs to at least shoot even or a couple under to have a chance to make the cut line. That's just going off what I think, but that's not looking at the numbers yet.
Right.
But yeah, as far as winning it, he would have to shoot probably about a 7 or 8 under today to get to about 5, 6 under on the tournament, and then he would have to have some help. He'd have to play real good on the weekend and have help on the weekend with Koepka and some of these other guys cooling off, which could happen. They could cool off because of the weather changes. But with the weather changing so much, I don't know if the high scores are going to be out there to be able to shoot 7 or 8 on the weekend, because you start getting a higher wind and rain. The conditions change, and the golfers aren't going to be able to be as aggressive because the greens have been pretty soft and they've been able to attack the greens, and then the greens will get slower as it changes the speed. So it could be you can see scoring maybe not be as high on the weekend. So I think Tiger would have to have a massive day today to even give himself any chance at all. But I would just like to see him make the cut so I can watch him play this weekend.
Yeah, right now he's tied at 50.
Yeah, I was saying right now he's shooting even right now. Right now he's even. So
he's hovering probably right around that cut line, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like to watch Tiger play, and I just want him to make the cut, like you said, Gonzo, just so we can see him play over the weekend. And in all honesty, like I said, he's 3 majors, man. He's 3 majors shy of Nicklaus. I just want to, if nothing else, I just want Tiger to get 3 majors. I would love to see him, if nothing else, just tie Nicklaus, just tie him. I'd like to see him break it, but I'd love to see him at least tie it. Let me ask you this. Let me ask both you guys this question.
The cut line is 50.
It's 50?
Yep.
So he's right at the cut line.
Yep.
So he's got to shoot under today to really
solidify a spot.
And it depends on what all the people behind them do as well. You know what I mean? Because people go interchange, move up. If you have 5 other guys move up, then that moves him back 5 spots.
Yeah.
So I mean,
when we say the cut line, that's 50 spots.
Yeah, there's 50 spots.
So you got 50 spots to continue on after today, and there's 4 rounds of golf, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So right now, today they'll be playing round 3.
Or no, today's round 2.
Oh, today's round 2.
Is it round 2 today?
Yeah. Yesterday was round 1. Today's round 2.
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday is round 3. Yeah.
4.
There's still a couple players that got to play their round.
What do you think, Rob? Does Tiger got at least 3 more major wins to tie Nicklaus?
Wins? No. I think Nicklaus holds that record.
I tell you, man, it's a shame because I really feel like, and I think we all feel like, you know
what? I hate to say it, but this is just
right.
You hate to see your favorite players go. You hate to see icons, start to look human and regular. But I think Tiger's time is over, and it was great while it lasted. I think Tiger still, his significance to not just the game of golf, not just to sports, but to life is right. He holds a significant place because he broke barriers. He introduced a face to a sport that was unfamiliar, to our culture, to
absolutely
Asian culture at that time. And, he became a staple. He became a name. He became a brand at a time where, still, I hate to even say it, but it's hard to say a time when racial tensions are still high, and what we can do, it's continue to break barriers and introduce people to faces and cultures that they might not be familiar with. Because at the end of the day, all racism is fear. It's fear of the unknown. It's fear of change.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, so
and I wonder, to your point, I wonder, you know, now that Tiger, let's be honest, he's on his way to the senior tour. Maybe he gets a couple more, but he's about 3 years away from the senior tour. You know, when are we going to see the next young, you know, African American man come into the sport and put another, what's it going to take to get more African Americans into the game of golf?
I think it's happening now. I think African Americans right now we play it leisurely, you know, like we play for fun. I know a lot of people who golf of my culture, you know what I mean? And it's a fun game. Like I've even gotten to golf, and I told my wife the other day that, man, I can't wait to go out here and hit some of these holes. Like I want to get out there and play. And I think, you know, players like Steph Curry and Michael Jordan, they make the game popular because even
absolutely.
Like we know Tiger Woods' name, but you know, for us that like love basketball, love football, when you start to see your favorite athletes or even hip hop star, DJ Khaled has started golfing now. Like golfing
isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's becoming culture, man. It's becoming culture.
And you're starting to see more African American golfers on the PGA Tour. You just haven't had the one that's broke out like Tiger, which
right.
There's not many guys even in any race that's been able to break out like Tiger.
It's hard.
You know, I mean,
it's hard.
But if you're going to say the next big star, I'm going with Charlie Woods. I know he's only like 12 or 11 or something, but I'm telling you.
But he's already made a name.
He looks like,
when your dad's Tiger Woods, you can't tell me he don't have the best training available.
He looks like his dad out there playing.
You know what I'm saying? He's already got half the genetics, and he's going to have the best training available. I promise you, we're going to see something from Charlie at some point. But I do want to give a shout out to my boy Joe Stevens. His daughter, and I hope I say her name right. I think it's Alan Stevens. She is African American, and she is playing at Texas A&M golf. So she'll be on the LPGA tour, hopefully once she graduates college. And I'm telling you, this young lady, she can flat out play. Like she's already been doing junior amateur tournaments and things like that. And I'm telling you, Rob Scott, you won't hear from her at some point because, like I said, this is her freshman year of college. But you're going to hear about this young lady. I'm telling you, man. Her dad has been having her in golf since she was a young girl, and this woman is going to be. I got big things I think on the horizon from her. So keep an eye out for her.
You know what? And before we get to talking hoops, I just want to say, not just for the African American community, Tiger Woods meant a lot to the Asian community, and I think
absolutely
start to see a lot of Asians out there playing golf as well.
Absolutely,
and they're good at it.
And let's be honest, man. Hey, let's tip our hat to his father, man. His father was a huge support system for Tiger, man, and yeah, man. You know, it's sad his dad is no longer with him, but. You know, what a support system he was for Tiger, man. And I think you see that in Tiger. Now you see it in Charlie. And that lineage, will pass on.
And to be honest, he didn't just have a big impact on African American and Asians as well as white golfers. Look how many younger guys started wanting to become professional golfers just because of Tiger Woods.
Oh, yeah.
Of any rate.
Hey, that's true. And I know we love talking about Tiger Woods, but I got a couple white faces I like to see, man. Like I rock with Phil Mickelson and George.
Hey, we keep it straight American. We keep it straight American. We're not talking Mickelson. He's English. We don't talk about the English.
Hey, I'll rock with
I'll
rock with Mickelson. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of great golfers out there. I
like Mickelson. I like watching Justin Thomas, Rory McIlroy.
Yeah, McIlroy, my guy. I love Jordan Spieth though. Like
Jordan Spieth.
One tournament, he just caught my eye. Because I remember my uncle was watching it and he caught my eye, and I watched him a little bit, and I'm like, boy, that boy know how to play.
Yeah,
I like Spieth as well.
You know what's interesting? we talked about the Grand Slam earlier, and there's only been 5 Grand Slam champions in golf. And I'm surprised out of the 5, none of them was Arnold Palmer. And Arnold Palmer was a great golf legend in the game of golf. And I'm really surprised, as well as he's played, that he never was able to capture the Grand Slam. That just kind of shows you how, prestigious, the Grand Slam is, and there's only, like I said, there's only 5. Tiger's one of them. Nicholson's obviously is the other one. Ben Hogan, Gary Player, and I can't say that the guy, Sepperson, whatever his name. But there's only been 5 guys to ever get to that level. And I don't know if Roy's ever going to get there. Hopefully he does. It'd be nice to see, if there's number 6 in there. But wow, man. It's crazy. But no, let's get into some hoops, man. Jeez. Lakers play tonight. Golden State plays tonight. Rob, how do you see tonight playing out? Do you think Lakers, can they pull off the win? I mean, I know you said earlier that Phoenix was going to be sitting some of their star players. Obviously, I'm pretty sure the Lakers might do the same. Do you think the Lakers can get out of the play-in by tonight?
Honestly, Jay, it's hard to get a read on the Lakers.
It really is.
The Lakers, they're such a unique team, and it's because they have all the talent in the world. Even before the trade, to me, they had all the talent in the world. Now, did that talent click? No. And now you bring in some great role players like D'Angelo Russell. You bought in Vanderbilt. You bought in Malik Beasley. Like you bring in some guys, during the offseason, before the season started. They bought in I can't think of his name. He's a guy that's off and on off their bench. And it's unique because you have LeBron James, you have Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis should be the best player on this team.
Were you thinking of Mo Bamba?
No, it's another guy. He shoots.
Hachimura?
He's
Schroeder.
like a 3-and-D guy.
Schroeder?
Not even Schroeder.
We had Hachimura, Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley.
I'll tell you right now.
I'm surprised you don't know off the top of your head.
Lonnie Walker. I know you play with this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How are you a hoops legend and you don't know this?
Hey, you don't understand how many names and numbers I got.
Listen, I'll give you baseball. Maybe you don't know all that, but basketball, I expect.
Jay, you don't understand how many names and numbers I got going around in my head a day. I'm still working.
I know, man. Hey, the life of a high level businessman like yourself. Simple-minded people like me, we don't understand that kind of stuff. I'm a simple bean counter.
Nah, you far from simple, Jay. But no, you look at the Lakers, man, and my problem with them is not only their health, but as I told Frankie, and I know Frankie hates to hear this, I question Anthony Davis' motor. He is not a high motor player. Has all the skill in the world, but no will. And it's really on, does he decide he wants to play tonight? That's the question. Gonzo, does AD want to play tonight? Yeah. Does AD want to play? Because he'll score 40 against Houston and then come back against the Clippers and give you 17.
Yeah, and he's always been a player. I felt like if you get physical with him, you can get him out. You can get him out of his game.
Maybe that's
wow. It. So real quick,
just AD can't take the physicality. Maybe that's it.
Well, I always thought that's why he didn't want to play it. Or when he used to always complain about having to play at the center position.
Oh yeah, he don't want to bang with them big boys.
Yeah, he don't want to bang. And if you watch, if he gets to his spots, he's gonna score at will. But if you can get a little physical with him and get in his head a little bit, he struggles.
That's a good take. It's a great take.
It's interesting tonight that the Thunder aren't playing tonight. The Clippers aren't playing tonight. And these are teams that are right there on the edge, of different avenues, right? So, for example, if you look at the standings, Dallas is only a half game out of the play-in.
Yeah.
So if Dallas wins tonight, and they could, and if the Clippers lose, if the Thunder lose on their next, time they play, which will probably be tomorrow, Now we're looking at Dallas getting it. So do you really want to shut down Kyrie? Do you really want to shut down Luka when you're only a half game out of the play-in?
I mean, Dallas can overtake quite a few people right now. I mean, they can take Minnesota. I don't trust Minnesota. Dallas has to win their next 2 games. Minnesota loses in there. I don't think Minnesota makes the playoffs. Like,
wow. How crazy would that be, though, if they don't make the playoffs and they just gave everything and their mother for for Gobert, but you don't make the playoffs?
That was stupid. They shouldn't make the playoffs just for making that decision.
Bro, listen, I'm right there with you. Believe me, I'm right there with you. I'm just saying, like, how bad does it make them look to not make the playoffs and you gave everything in the sun to bring Gobert over?
That was stupid. You know what? They shouldn't make the playoffs because of that decision. I mean, Minnesota, to me, they're taking a step back. They had such a good young team. And you give up, like you say, you give up everything to go get Rudy Gobert. He's not a game changer. He's not a life changer. He's not a person that you're like, oh, he's the missing link. I mean, even defensively, the guy is the guy I know most for getting posted. When people see Gobert down there, they're like, oh, I got a chance for a signature dunk.
Right.
So I don't, Minnesota to me, Anthony Edwards, he's up and down all the time. Karl Anthony Towns can't stay healthy. I mean, to me, Minnesota is a dumpster fire. New Orleans, they're tough, but if they don't have Zion back, they're not going to make any real noise. And the question with that is, do you even want to bring the guy back? Does Zion come back this year?
No, you're making good points. I mean, so that's the first half of the equation, though, right? That's like the first half. The second half of that equation is, like you said earlier, when you look at Golden State and when you look at the Lakers, even the Clippers, Golden State and the Clippers are at 10. Lakers are at 11, so the Lakers are 1 game out of the 6th spot, maybe even 1 game out of the 5th spot, depending on how it turns out.
Yeah,
it's not over for them yet.
Yeah, I don't think
they play Sacramento tonight.
I don't think Sacramento's playing their starters tonight either.
Yeah, a lot of teams.
Well, you got to look at it, Jay. I get that you don't like that, but at this day and age,
I don't like it.
Sacramento,
I don't like it because it waters it down.
But Sacramento has already won a specific division. They have nothing to fight for. They won their division. Their place is their place. They're 48-32. They're 3 games above Phoenix, who was in 4th. They can lose their next game, 2 games, and they're A-okay.
I get it, man. I guess I look at it from a fan perspective, and a fan of the game is I don't want to see it get watered down. Right now, everybody's so damn close. Why? Come on, man. Play hard. Let's go.
I get you, but right now, 1 through 4, they're locked. So they have the luxury of not only, getting their team healthy, but giving their starters a rest because Jay, in the playoffs, a lot of these starters are going to be playing at least minimum 35 minutes. This is not a time where you're going deep in your bench when it's playoff time. So you're going to have your main guys out there playing significant heavy minutes.
Yep. Yeah, you want to try to go into the playoffs as healthy as you can.
Yeah, I get you though, and I know back in the days guys just played, but that's the reason why you see guys like Kenny Smith with these knock knees, and you see Shaq having to get 3-4 hip replacements, and you see Charles Barkley. He got my uncle walk. My uncle walks like that because he's worked a hard life. You know what I'm saying? A life of hard work. So that's they try to prevent those things. We know we have modern medicine and technology to help try to make these guys better. But another thing that these guys do nowadays is they don't put the beating on their bodies if they don't have to.
Yeah, Anthony Price says, look, LeBron and AD can play center and they don't. Well, I don't know. I think we're getting away from the traditional center position anyway. Truthfully.
Well, we are. Well, you heard the announcement with I think the CBA, they all agreed that in the NBA's Players Association that they're not, when it comes to all NBA teams, it's going to be positionless now. So you can
should be, because now
you can
we're
have
in
Jokic and Embiid both be all NBA players together if they played that well, So that's going to be interesting. I think that's a little bit more incentive for guys to play better now, because now you don't just make the cut because you're a point guard. You actually have to play now.
Right. But and that's the way it should be, because like I said, in today's game, you can go three guards, 2 forwards, or you can go 3 forwards, 2 guards. I mean, any kind of combination, but there is no traditional center anymore. It's all gone away.
And they needed to change it because of if the player makes one of them first teams or second team all pro, that affects how much money they can make on their next contract.
Yeah, I think they get incentives for that too.
Yeah, with the CBA. So I think it's better that it's positionless, because you can be keeping, say, Embiid or Jokic out of it because they're so good. Both of them have seasons. Well, it could affect the pay of one of them when they go into their next contract, because they didn't get on the All NBA team.
Well, let me ask you guys this, because I want to wrap this up real quick on the LA side of life. If you had to put a percentage on the possibility of the Lakers grabbing the number 6 or number 5 and getting out of the play-in, what would you put it at, Gonzo, and then Rob? Give me a percentage of what you think their chances are of getting out of the play-in.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say 50, and the only reason I have it at 50 is just because I don't know what players are going to play, like with the Suns tonight and the teams that they play. If the Suns was playing all their starters, I think I'd probably have it at less than 50. But I'm gonna go 50 just because with some of these teams setting out players that they might be able to get up to that spot. But or the Lakers gonna play everybody tonight, or are they just gonna go in and be happy to be in the play-in and see and try to get rested a little bit.
Rob?
That's a good question. That is a good question. I'm going to say 45. I'm right there with Chris. My question is, how great can the Clippers be? I don't think it's necessarily the Warriors that I'm worried about. It's the Clippers, especially Paul George is not there. I get Kawhi played in his first back-to-back in like forever.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you don't know, their last 2 games, they played Portland. Do they really take Portland serious? They play them tomorrow. And then they play the Clippers in the Phoenix Suns in the back-to-back for their last game of the year, which is on the 9th. So does Kawhi play in those back-to-backs? How important is it for Ty Lue to keep the Clippers, and not even Ty Lue? How important is it to Kawhi Leonard for the Clippers to stay out of play-in territory? I think if the Lakers can get past Phoenix tonight, which is very doable now, because if they don't play their starters the second half and the Lakers come out and play with some intensity and LeBron can give you a second half like he did against the Clippers the other night, I think they'll be A-okay against the Phoenix Suns. I don't trust Phoenix secondary team. So I think they'll be okay. And, if you're looking at they end their season playing Utah, I think the Lakers can beat Utah with no problem. So I think the question becomes, can the Clippers maintain their 5th spot or even hold on to stay in 6th? But it's the Clippers I don't trust. So I give the Lakers a 45% chance.
Yeah, I'm going 30. I'm going 30%. And the reason why I say 30% is I don't think this week is going to be the difference maker, because of, like you said, the teams that are being played right now are going to most likely rest because they haven't secured. So I think the Lakers will probably beat Phoenix if they rest, and I think the other teams that Golden State, like you said, Sacramento secure, so they'll most likely rest. So that means Golden State should get the win.
Mm-hmm.
Clippers, should get the win over Portland, because Portland's basically shut down 4 of their guys unless something crazy happens over there. So basically, I don't think this week is going to be the telltale week, but I do think possibly next week or the next game, not necessarily the next week, but the next game will be the telltale because the Lakers got to play Utah. I don't know who Golden State or the Clippers are playing. I have to go back and look more of that up, but I think it could
Clippers play Phoenix.
Huh? What's that?
Clippers play Phoenix in their
shit.
last game.
And if Phoenix is rested against LA,
they play Portland and Phoenix.
So if they're going to rest against the Lakers, they're damn sure going to rest against the Clippers too.
The sports book has the Lakers as 11-point favorites tonight against the Suns. So that tells you that the Suns aren't going to play their starters the whole game.
Well, they don't need to, and that's what I was about to tell AP. They've locked number 4 already. They're 3 games ahead of the Clippers, and it's only 2
I don't think he understood that. That's already a lock. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Clippers might beat the Suns Sunday. Suns don't need to. Again, that's exactly correct. That's why I don't think the Lakers. I don't think I think the Clippers and I think Golden State, because people are going to be resting. I think they're going to solidify.
I don't know though about the Clippers because is Kawhi going to play? That's the question. If Kawhi doesn't play, the Clippers are a regular ass team.
Oh,
especially without Jordan.
That's Rob. That's actually a really good point.
Because you don't have Paul George. Paul George is down,
But again, but you know what though? But because of that, that's why I'm going 30% because there is a possibility that could happen. So that's why I think the Lakers got a 30% chance to get out of the play-in. Honestly,
but CJ, that's why I mentioned the Clippers play back to back. Do you think Kawhi is going to play another back to back?
Oh hell no!
That's what I'm saying.
This the guy that got the whole load management started.
Hey, especially
Kawhi's middle name is load management.
Hey, especially he just played his first full second half of a game since he won the championship run with Toronto.
That's bad.
The other night.
That's bad.
That's the first time he's played a whole
second half. Wait, whoa. Is it really bad? Let me ask you this.
Bad, dude.
No. Hold on. Let me explain what I'm trying to say.
Okay, talk your stuff then, Jay.
Watch this. For everybody outside of Kawhi, it's bad. But if I'm Kawhi, I'm getting paid. And I'm resting.
I get what you said for him.
Hey, watch this. I'm going to think about it now, Rob. I'm making money, and I ain't doing a damn thing. I play when I wants to play. Let me tell you, I play when I wants to play because I'm going to get paid. So is it for him? For him personally, it's not a bad thing.
It's okay, but even for him personally.
Okay. So what we talking about, Rob? What we talking about?
But hold on, Jay. As a person who was very emotional when Kobe died, who we found out that Kobe was actually one of his mentors. I didn't know Kawhi and Kobe were that close. That's my problem with these guys. You guys say you love the Michael Jordans, the Kobes, the LeBrons of the world. You say that you want to emulate these greats, the Dr. J's, the Larry Birds, the Magic Johnson. Right. These guys played, dude. These guys suited up and went out there and played because people could say what they say. Why you mention LeBron? LeBron just started getting hurt. For 18 years of his career, LeBron wasn't missing nothing. He was out there playing. He got the name Iron Man because he will play. LeBron would get hurt, tie his shoe on tighter, and play.
Maybe do a few more pumps at the tongue.
I'm just saying, man, these guys do. If you want to be considered a great, you have to play. And that's the reason that I like that the NBA Players Association, the National Basketball Players Association, they also stated that in order for you to be considered for an award next year, you have to play a minimum of 55 games. You can't be calling yourself an MVP and you only gave me 40 games, bro.
Okay, even at 55 out of 82.
I get that, but that they saying to qualify.
Wow, 55 out of 82. You tell me all I got to do is play 55 games.
To qualify at least.
Yeah. Here's what they need to do, and they won't because it's all about money, and the players wouldn't still make the same amount of money. But what they should do, cut some of the games out, do away with the back-to-backs, and then there's no excuse for players.
65. I'm sorry. Thank you, AP.
I'm about to say that's better because 65 out of 82. Okay, I'll give you that. Because again, when you're a guy like LeBron, who's 38 years old, I'm sorry, I don't care if you are putting $1 million into your body, you're still a mortal human being, and money can't cure everything. You know what I'm saying? I get it. 38, I get why he would load manage a little bit. I even get why maybe AD might load manage, given all the damn injuries AD's had. Honestly.
Well, AD, you can look at a body part and then it just fall apart.
Bro, that's what. Hey, listen, you ain't lying.
He's bad.
He's living a
bro. Hey, watch this.
Hey,
you know what I call AD? Hey, you know what I call AD? I call AD Velcro. You ever notice with Velcro? You get maybe a good 30 or 40 snaps of it, and it'll maintain its Velcro. You get to like number 51, and that Velcro starts to suck.
Hey Gonzo, what did you say? What did you say about them getting paid?
I think what the NBA should do is cut some games off the schedule, go down to like from 82 to 70 or whatever. That way you don't have to have you don't have to have none of these back-to-backs. Then there's no excuse for the players that have to set out games when they're healthy, because that's been the main excuse. So we can't play back-to-backs. Do away with the back-to-backs, but it won't happen because you cut the number of games. Then it's going to cut down on what some of these players are making because of the TV revenue.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're going to cut the games, then cut their money back, because I'm going to be a little pissed as a fan that we don't have 82 games. I expect 82 games, and that's what I want to see. What's up, Billy?
Hey, how's it going, Billy?
Hey, I'm right there with you. Look, 82, football, I should say not football. Baseball is really what I'm looking at. Baseball, 162 games, they could kind of cut that back a little bit because of all the spring training games they got to play too.
Nah, boy, we ain't cutting nothing back, boy.
But when it comes to basketball and the 82 game schedule, nah, keep that the way it is. Is what it is. But what a time to be alive, man. Honestly, I think the next, like we said, the next. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the play-in starts next week. Am I correct on that, or am I wrong?
I'm not sure,
because I want to say the play-in starts somewhere at the middle, maybe even towards the end of next week. Because there's only 2 games left in the season, so it's got to be somewhere in that neighborhood.
Let's see.
Well, you guys are horrible. Don't y'all do y'all's homework before you come on this show? What's wrong?
I'm sorry. I was looking. I'm doing something. I'm about to have to pop off for a Zoom call.
Tuesday, April 11th.
Okay, so Tuesday, April the 11th. Okay, so yeah, I mean, we're right at the cusp of the play-in,
and the play-in ends on Friday the 14th.
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
I could have told you that. I'm sorry. Like I said, I was going to my calendar to go to the Zoom link.
No, do your thing, Rob. Hey, I know you're at work, man. Number one, I appreciate you coming on the show, bro. I know you're a busy person, man. I mean, we love you to death.
Hey, I love you to death, and I love this show to death.
Well, we certainly appreciate you, man. Absolutely. Anthony Price goes on to say if they cut to 72, every player should be playing every game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Gonzo said.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And then he goes on to say, Lakers not going to have no rest time. And Gonzo, it's true, man. Let me ask you this. The Lakers, because the play-in starts on Tuesday, is it really – and because, that the other teams are going to be resting their players, that the likelihood of them even getting to – the 6th spot is going to be incredibly difficult because of the quote-unquote watered-down games that are going to be out there for the teams that are at the 5 and 6 spot. Would it behoove them to just rest Bron and AD these last 2 games and roll in on Tuesday and let just understand the fact that you're in the play-in? It is what it is. You're in the play-in. But let's rest AD, let's rest Bron, and if we're going to go into the play-in, let's go into the play-in with the rested Bron and AD, and that way we give ourselves a better chance.
I think what they'll probably do, I think they'll probably play everybody tonight, see what happens, whether they win or lose, and see what happens with the other players or other teams, and see what their chances are. And if the chances haven't improved, I think they rest their players the last game of the regular season, especially the LeBron and AD. But I think they'll probably try to play to win tonight, and then see what happens with how the standings look after that. And if the situation has improved, then I look for them to set their players on Sunday, and rest up for Tuesday.
Yeah, absolutely. Billy has a good point. And this is a point I've always said myself. You take your boy to a baseball game and wants to see his favorite player, and you pay top dollar. Billy, whether you pay top dollar or not, just the fact that you're paying money to see something and he sits out because of a fingernail, that's wrong. Now, I will say, Billy, on a pitcher, a fingernail is a pretty big thing because that's how they grip the ball. So there are you got to understand the game of baseball to get that. And I know, Billy, you would understand the game of baseball. I'm not trying to insult you. But a pitcher, I can see that with a pitcher. Now, if it's a positional player like a shortstop or a first baseman or whatever, you better have your butt on the field. But again, if we look at it in basketball, if we take what Billy is saying and we apply it to basketball, the ones that I think get hurt the most are probably the season ticket holders, right? Because they're the ones that already got the prepaid tickets or prepaid money, whatever. Maybe if you bought your tickets ahead of time, it'll affect those people. But if you put it out ahead of time, a week ahead of time, whatever, hey, such and such isn't going to be playing, then it's fine. But if not, and I'm paying my money, your ass needs to play because I paid to see you play. And that's a problem. And so, Billy, I do understand exactly what you're saying because, again, if I'm paying to go see the Phoenix Suns, I want to see Kevin Durant out there. I want to see Booker out there. I want to see Chris Paul out there. Don't give me the scrubs because if you're going to give me the scrubs, then you better discount my fucking price and let my price reflect the talent that you're putting on the court. But that's a hard conversation that most people, at least NBA executives, don't want to hear.
Son of a, come on, Tiger. You can't hit nothing right now.
If you sit out from a fingernail, there is something wrong. Anthony Price, again, if you're a pitcher and you understand the art of pitching, a fingernail is a big thing. It's a huge thing. But if you're a positional player, like I said a minute ago, what you're saying holds water. Anthony goes on to say, I'll try to sell my tickets in 2 hours. Laugh out loud. Hey, maybe you can. Billy says, but they won't put it out ahead of time because them players you want to see sell tickets. Again, that you're absolutely 100% correct. You're correct. Yep. And at the very least, if they don't play it, maybe people will want – well, I don't think you can get a refund on something like that because the game is still being played regardless of whether or not you like the players that are on the court or not. But I will say this, man. From a fan perspective, it sucks when you want to go – when you have tickets to a game that you spent a lot of money for and you're going to give me the scabs. That really sucks.
Oh, it does. And it happens a lot.
That sucks.
It happens.
Gonzo, let me ask you this because I want your perspective deeply on this. Is it morally wrong for a business to purposely put out an inferior product for a customer who's paying top-notch money? Is it ethically correct?
I think it depends on how you do it. If you just advertise like your normal team is playing, and then you don't, and then your fans get there expecting that, and then you don't play your normal team, I think that's wrong. I do think that's bullshit. Now, if like the situation you got here at the end of the season with the playoffs, you see it in every sport where players rest. but that usually gets announced a few days before sometimes. That don't bother me as much, but it does bother me when they know people aren't going to play and they don't announce it, to Billy's point, because they sell tickets.
Absolutely. But what if you buy the pre-sale? What if you buy the advanced tickets?
That's true.
And then they change up or they do what they're doing and you're stuck with the tickets. You can't even sell the tickets because people know, oh, well, now they're not playing. So now these tickets are worthless because of that.
It sucks. It does suck. I understand it more at the end of the season, because of the playoffs. But before that, I think it's completely wrong. And especially like you see it where sometimes they don't announce. I've seen them not announce that LeBron's not going to play till basically game time before, and not just LeBron. It's been other players. I'm just picking a big name player, and to me that's wrong. Just like the situation I was talking about earlier with the wrestling show this weekend. They found out at 10:30 last night, at 10 o'clock last night about this, that Kurt Angle wasn't going to be able to be there tomorrow.
Right.
They found 10 o'clock by around 9 o'clock. By 10 o'clock, they had made a new poster and made a post letting everybody know what was going on and that Devon Dudley was going to be there instead. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or there's still going to be some fans upset because everybody was expecting to see Kurt Angle. Yes, but at least they put it out there as quick as they could, and they tried to find they found somebody to replace them to try to keep the fans as happy as they could, because sometimes shit just happens and you can't control it.
I get what you're saying. What you're saying makes absolute total sense.
I also know in any sport and in wrestling, there's been times where people know that somebody's not going to be there and they just leave it advertised and don't say nothing until the fans get there, because they'll say, yeah, the fans they might be a little upset, but they're already here, so they'll stay. That is 100%.
That's bullshit.
100%
that's
morally
bullshit.
wrong.
And I think in this case, and this is just simply my perspective, and it probably don't mean much, but in this case, if you're resting players because there's nothing wrong with them, you just want to conserve them for the playoffs, but somebody spent a lot of money to get that ticket, and they want to see the best in what you have, and you're resting them because you're getting ready for the playoffs, not because there's something wrong with them. There's an ethical problem with that. It's an ethical problem because you're not giving them the product that they paid for. Now, if somebody has a family emergency, if somebody is injured, okay, those are outlying circumstances that just can't be helped. Like, for example, Kurt Angle, had a family issue that couldn't be resolved. So yeah, he's excused from that. But if Kurt Angle says, you know what, I just don't feel like wrestling tonight, or Kurt Angle says, I got another match tomorrow, so I'm going to take this match off, even though I advertised and you're not going to get it, there's an ethical issue with that. Yeah. And that's what I'm getting with basketball. I feel like basketball should enforce that, look, unless you guys are medically not cleared to play or they have a family emergency, they need to put these guys on the court. Because at the end of the day, we have an ethical and moral obligation, if not a contractual obligation, because the ticket is a contract, to put our best product out there. And I think, and again, that's probably not going to sit right with all the NBA executives. The NBA executives are going to say, screw you, McMahon, we don't give a damn. But you have an ethical obligation to the fans that paid good money to see the best product that you could put on the floor. And if you're not doing that, then you in my mind, ethically, you're not doing the right thing by the fans. And that's all I'm going to say about that. That's just my opinion. Having said that, I hate the Lakers, so I don't give a damn.
I get what you're saying, but you're never. If these teams think it helps them at the end of the season, they're going to set players. Whether, and I know, I don't agree with it either, but that's what they'll do.
So Billy says, I used to be in the ticket selling business out in the streets, sports, concerts, etc. I would even get free passes to the RV and camping show, would cost $20 to get in. I I'd sell them for $10 to make good money. I get that. And by the way, Billy, 2 questions, and you can put in the comments. Number 1, where do you live? And number 2, can Jay McLovin get a discount on some concert tickets? Put that out there in the comments.
I'm pretty sure he lives in Connecticut.
Oh, yeah. Billy, then we definitely need to talk because I know you got some concerts coming out there in the Connecticut area. So me and you need to talk.
And then Jay, I was gonna say, did you see that one? He said he lived in the 80s. He lived in Houston.
Oh wow! He said back in the 80s, I lived in Houston with this barfly. Look, there's a lot of barflies. I'm pretty sure I dated most of the barflies that moved down there. I used to sell tickets at the Astrodome Laugh and Laugh. You know what, Billy? I would not be surprised that me and you have not crossed paths back in the day before I even got out here. And then Damien, oh, I love Damien. Comments, question, whoever does, Damien, listen, I need you to do something for me. I need you to take some grammar classes because 9 times out of 10, either A, you're drunk posting, or B, you just have no idea what grammar is. But I need you to start working on your comments and how you word them because I'm having a hard time understanding half the shit that you say. Pardon my French. Question, whoever does draft Jalen Carter. I'm sorry, every time I read that, it makes me laugh. Question, whoever does draft Jalen Carter, how is he going to play when he is on a 12 months probation? And if I'm not wrong, you're not supposed to travel while on probation, so why risk drafting him? Gonzo, I'm going to let you address that one.
Yeah, I know. I think when you're on probation, I think the traveling stuff, I think it kind of can vary, but since NFL is going to be considered his job and work, I'm sure he'll be able to get it set up where he'll be able to travel with the team for work. So I don't think that'll be an issue because as long as you're not going out of the country, I think if he's going out of the country, then it'd be different. But since you'll be traveling within the country, I think he'll be able to get it approved to be able to travel for work.
He's got a good point.
Yeah, you just got to get it approved to be able to travel.
You just got to get that approved through your probation officer or whoever. And 9 times out of 10, if it's work related, they're going to approve that. Going back real quick to a previous Anthony Price comment, Anthony, I need you and Damien to link hands and both of y'all take some English classes and learn how to post some shit, okay? They is not the right word to use. There is the right word to use. I know you want to say they, but that's not the right word. The right word is there. Okay, that's English lesson 101 for today. They're saying Zay Flowers might be the number 1 wide receiver in the draft. I could possibly see that because some of the other wide receivers on their combine times weren't as quick as Zay. So I could see that. Gonzo, what do you think about Zay being the number 1 wide receiver in the draft? Is that likely?
I think he could. I still think it's going to be Jackson Smith, the Jigba, or however you say his name, from Ohio State. But
I can't say Zigba or the Jigba.
Jackson Smith.
JSN. I think is his first name Jay. JSN. Yeah. That's how people have been referring to him as. So we'll just say JSN.
I think he's going to be the number 1. But I wouldn't be real surprised if it was Zay Flowers as well. Both. I think both of them are going to be real good receivers. For Jackson Smith, I'm not going to try to say last name, or JSN. I think the only thing that might keep him from being number 1 and it might go to Flowers would be just because he had some injury problems last year with Ohio State.
Right.
Could teams be a little worried about his health?
Hey, real quick. I just want to point this out because it's kind of funny. You said, Jay, read this with the middle finger and shove it up your – that's the first thing you said that, believe it or not, is grammatically correct. What a time to be alive. Anthony Price says, come on, Jay, say his name right. That's 5th grade English. Hey, Anthony, touche, mofo, touche. Anthony, you know you're my boy, man. Let's get past the BS, okay? But I do need you to understand the right pretense of the word you're trying to use. It makes it easier for me to read your comment. That's all I'm saying. Damien, talk to Anthony. You guys have a collective group effort, and let's get some good comments rolling. Man, what a time to be alive, Gonzo, man. What a time to be alive. How do you feel about your Reds playing today? You guys are playing the Phillies. You had the postponement yesterday. You've been playing pretty good to the point where you actually got a winning record, and we've talked about that. We know that the Phillies have been struggling as of late to where they have a losing record as well. They have some injuries also coming about. How do you feel about your chances in this series going forward with the Phillies?
I think it's going to be a good series. I'm excited about today's game because we'll have Hunter Green back on the mound for his second start of the season. He was our opening day starter, and he's going against Wheeler for the Phillies, who is pretty good as well. So it should be good. Phillies have some injuries. Reds have some injuries too. Votto's still in the IL and Senzel, and then we had some relievers, a couple relievers that are also hurt. So the Reds do have some injuries, but them guys I mentioned haven't played at all so far this season. But I think it's going to be a good series. I think the Reds are going to be competitive. I don't have a reason to think they're not going to be, just because the way we've started the season. We, at least in the games we lost, we were competitive. So but yeah, I think I'm looking forward to it. Game starts at 3:06 Eastern time. Actually, the same time as the Yankees and Orioles. So,
oh my gosh! And then we don't play until 4. So the Yankees, Reds, Astros all play pretty much the same time. So it should be really good today for some good baseball.
Hey, you guys play at 3.
Are we 3? I thought we were 4. Okay, well that's even better. Hey, I hope we do play at 3. That's even better.
It says 3:06 Eastern time for the Yankees and the Reds.
Oh, nice.
Is what I'm reading.
Okay. Gonzo, Billy has a question for you.
Wait a minute. I messed up. The Yankees play at 3. You're not a Yankees fan. Y'all thinking of Frankie. Yeah, you play at 4:11.
Well, I'll tell you what. Gonzo, if you weren't one of my best friends, I'd come over there and smack you in the mouth. Hey, but seriously, hey, back on a serious tip though, huh?
I said you didn't even catch it though, because I said no, yeah, the Yankees play at 3. You didn't even catch what I said.
I caught it. I was just waiting for you to catch it. Okay, that's all. Hey, Gonzo, though, seriously, though, Billy has a question for you. He says, I know a guy that went to WrestleMania. He met ex-Colt player Thomas, I guess it's Pescock. Is that right?
Yep.
It's a weird last name. He wrestled under the name Baron Corbin. Do you remember him?
Yeah, he actually is still wrestling. Baron Corbin is. But yeah, he played a little bit for the Colts. I don't think he ever really made – I don't know if he made it – he might have made it past the practice squad for a lita bit, but he was on the team at the same time as him and Pat McAfee were actually teammates with the Colts for a little bit of a time, and then now they're both part of WWE. But yeah, Corbin is still in the WWE. I don't think he didn't wrestle. I don't think he didn't wrestle at WrestleMania, but he's still there. I think he's on SmackDown. I think he's on Friday nights. But he's not like a real big star. He's one more of their like mid-level guys. But yeah, he's from what I hear, he couldn't make it. He had trouble making it football because of his attitude. He couldn't, and not his attitude like of not listening. It was more of his temper. He would get mad and get in fights at practice and shit and stuff. So I think that was some of why he never made it bit bigger in like pro football. But yeah, he was with the Colts a little bit, mainly on the practice squad. But yeah, I remember him being there.
Hey, real quick, just to kind of give you a quick update on the Masters, Bennett finished up at 4 under, so he's at 8 under right now, 4 shots off the lead. Rom is at 7 under still, so he's shooting even on the 5th hole. And then Morikawa, his name right, is at 6 under, and he finished at 3 under for today. And then Hovland is still at 6 under, and he's actually at 1 over for today, and he's on hole number 7, and that's according to ESPN. So that's just a quick update as to where we are. Tiger, I have not got an update on Tiger. Gonzo, I know you got ESPN Plus. Are you tracking where Tiger's at currently?
I'd have to wait for it to come back on. I hadn't been paying close.
Well, when it comes back on, let us know so we can get an update on that real quick. Kyrie Irving is among 5 Mavericks ruled out for the must-win game. Wow. I don't know, man. Why? How much is that going to play not having Kyrie Irving when you're at a must-win game?
Yeah.
So it says All-Star guard Kyrie Irving and 4 key Dallas Maverick role players will sit out Friday night's home game against the Chicago Bulls, a game the Mavs must win to avoid being eliminated from the play-in scenario. So those 4 teams, the 4 that are being ruled out are Kyrie Irving, right foot injury recovery, shooting guard Tim Hardaway, left ankle soreness, small forward Josh Green, rest for what? Okay. Power forward / center Max Kleber, right hamstring injury, and Christian Wood, rest. Rest for what? If your ass don't play, you're gonna be rested permanently until next season.
Tiger Woods is still even on today through 6 holes. He's +2 for the tournament.
So he's still even. Okay, appreciate that. Let me ask you this: 2 players are resting. The rest have ticky-tack injuries. Must-win game. Dallas. What the hell? If I'm Mark Cuban, I would be pissed at this. Yeah. I would be pissed. Billy goes on to say, I hit a nice 4-team hockey parlay last night, but the Bruins and the Sabres was an nail-biter. He goes on. Damien goes in. And he's saying, who the F is Baron Corbin? I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of there with him because I honestly didn't know who that was either. Thank God Gonzo's here. Billy says, I just Googled Tiger Woods. He tied at 50th with +2. We already talked about that. And then Damien wraps out the comments, which, to be fair, Mavs were playing good way before Kyrie got there. You know what? Hey, and you know what? That's actually the first, number one, that's the first grammatically correct sentence I've heard you say yet. And number 2, you're actually on point with your comment. You're right. I don't know why they had to go get Kyrie. I understand Kyrie's Kyrie, quote unquote, but just because Kyrie has a name doesn't mean that he's the right fit for your team. And I don't think Kyrie is the right fit for the Dallas Mavericks. But Gonzo, what is your thoughts, man, on 4 people sitting out on this Mavs? 2 of them are for rest.
Yeah, it just shows you that they don't think they're going to get in the playoffs either way. Basically, that's what it makes me feel. And I don't think to me, it's like they really don't care if they get in that play-in spot. I mean, it's funny because like I was telling you yesterday, when Irving joined the team, they had like a 56% chance of making the playoffs. As of yesterday, they had a 6% chance of making the playoffs. So you had a guy that was supposed to make you better. It hasn't. I think the biggest problem is their defense. They can score points. It ain't the scoring. Hell, they've lost games where Irving and Lucas both have scored 40 points. So they can score points, but the problem is that they don't have no defense. They've lost too much of their defense trying to make some moves that they thought was going to improve the team. And I kind of agree with what we were talking yesterday. I think losing Jalen Brunson has hurt them a lot more than what they expected. I don't think they really care if they make the play-in is what it's telling me. If you're just not playing people for rest,
Absolutely. I think that's exactly what they're telling you.
At this point, if you really want to make the play-in, you're going to play your guys.
No, I think that's exactly what they're telling you. Question. Let me pull that up. My phone died on me. I apologize. So Zion will not be playing during the play-in. We would not see Zion unless they escape the play-in and get into the actual playoffs. So let me ask you this. And again, he's recovering from a hamstring injury that he suffered on January the 2nd. So my question is this. We won't see Zion unless they get out of the play-in. Do you think New Orleans will get out of the play-in and into the playoffs?
I don't think so. I mean, they have a chance because they're not a terrible team, and all them teams in that play-in in the West are pretty close. I think they can all pretty much beat each other. But I don't think so. And honestly, I kind of hope they don't. But here's my reason why I kind of.
All right, I'm listening.
Is because if they do, then they're going to rush back Zion to try to play in a playoff series, which could affect the chemistry of your team, or Zion could just get hurt again. Why not at this point, where you're at and everything? You've already lost a whole season. You might as well not play him this year and try to keep him healthy for next year. I know they done that last year and it didn't work, but if you rush him back out in the court, and because you've already tried to ramp him up in practice once and he's had setbacks, he has another setback, then where are you at? And you're bringing a guy out there. This ain't like regular season intensity. You're going to bring him out there to playoff intensity to play his first game in how many months?
Oh, absolutely.
I just don't think it's a good idea. I mean, level of intensity in a playoff game is a lot more than what it is in a regular season. You know what I mean? And I just think it's a guy that's been out basically the whole season. I just think it's a bad idea to try to get him implemented into the playoffs.
Oh yeah, absolutely, no doubt. I totally 100% agree with you on that as well. And again, I'm curious. I will be curious to watch this play-in that starts Tuesday, April the 11th, to see how this play-in not only unfolds, but to see who will wrap up that 7 and 8 spot. Real quick, so we got Easy Money getting ready to come up, guys. Gonzo will be taking up that spot here in just a few minutes. So we're going to go to some final thoughts. We're going to get out of here. And then for any of you guys that do a lot of betting, Gonzo's going to give you some knowledge on, hopefully, to help you do your parlays the way they need to be done. So, Gonzo, final thoughts, my brother.
First final thought is, in case anybody didn't hear it earlier, the wrestling show tomorrow is still going on, but unfortunately, Kurt Angle had to withdraw from the show tomorrow night due to a family matter. He put out a video apologizing to the fans and apologizing to the Jay County wrestlers who the fundraiser's for. But he is locked up and committed to being at next year's Invasion for the 5-year anniversary of the Invasion, DCW Invasion show. So he will be next year. But DCCW, being the promotion they are, worked hard last night, found a replacement. And so replacing Kurt Angle is going to be no other than WWE Hall of Famer Devon Dudley. So now the lineup is going to be Devon Dudley, Rikishi, and Buff Bagwell. So that's still going to be, we'll still be live tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern with Pro Wrestling. So come join us. But just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that, hey, sometimes unforeseen circumstances happen. I found out about 10:30 last night about it. If you look at my page, I've made a new flyer. I've made a new flyer and everything. Trying to let everybody know DCCW's been sharing it, trying to make sure everybody knows about it. And I think they've done a great job, at least getting a replacement. But Kurt Angle is scheduled to be there next year, and hopefully nothing happens with that. And then also on Sunday, I know it's Easter Sunday, but 4 p.m. Eastern, we'll be live streaming another pro wrestling show. So come join us for that. You can find both those on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room. And then, but other than that, basically, have a good weekend. Enjoy Easter with your family, and enjoy the sports this weekend. I mean, you got Masters, you got the NBA regular season coming to an end, some XFL, baseball. So still quite a bit going on. So yeah, just enjoy your weekend. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you subscribe to Gonzo's sports page, man. The guy puts out a lot of good content, especially with the parlays and the things, the betting and odds that he puts out with Easy Money and so forth. It's all good stuff, man. And if you have not watched Gonzo's Wrestling Room, catch it out because he does a really good job with that independent wrestling and so forth with his pops, Tony, Big Tony, I call him. Check him out, man. The good stuff. Again, you can catch Unscripted on Tuesday. I won't be here. I'll be out to the 15th, but Logan Landers will be leading the way with Unscripted on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can catch all of our stuff on Unscripted Guys on Twitter, all one word, as you see it below my name. And then it's Unscripted Sports on TikTok, all one word. So make sure you check us out there as well. It's been a pleasure, Gonzo. I appreciate you. Rob Scott, thanks for coming on and making an appearance and talking with us. Billy, man, I appreciate you. Damien, I appreciate you. Anthony Price, thank you. Andre, thank you for hanging out with us. Billy does say yes, the dude. Him and his dad gave me a few winners. And yes, Billy.
Don't get started on Billy.
I'm not going to put you in the same company as Gonzo and Anthony, but the right word was they.
Whoa. Gonzo and Anthony. Why you throwing Gonzo?
Did I say Gonzo and Anthony? I said Damien. I thought I meant Damien.
Yeah, there you go. Get Damien.
Damien. I apologize. Gonzo, don't shoot me, man. Listen, I'm old and I'm crippled. Leave me alone. But the right word you were looking for, Billy, is they. Yes, they do. But I'm pretty sure you just probably missed the Y when you were typing. So I'm going to let you slide on that, Billy, because we love you. We love you, Billy. And if you have a chance to get some concert tickets out there in Connecticut, let me know because I'm always down to come hang out. But until next time, man, it's your boy Jay McLovin, Gonzo. And, yeah, man, that's our show. And we will see you next time. Y'all have a good night. We out. Come on now. Click on there.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.